without further ado, let me introduce the man who has helped Avi just not to be a lonely voice. The fact that there is one other person, and I know this, and I think many people in this room feel this. Every once in a while, you feel completely alone. You feel like there is no one else out there who thinks the way you do, or feels the way you do, or thinks things are devastatingly wrong. And simply for going public and saying, no, I feel this way, you give courage to hundreds of thousands of others who felt they were alone. And I think that was the greatest thing Rebel News ever did during the lockdowns, is that through Avi and through our Canadian teams, we told people you were not alone. Even though every official person said you were crazy, you weren't. Even though every journalist, every politician, every institution, but what about Avi? Did he feel alone? No, because he had Rukshan Fernando. So without further ado, let me introduce Rukshan.
I feel like I was destined to be here because there's a map of Sri Lanka. I just wanted to get that in there, but look, guys, it's been an amazing journey for me. Working with Avi in all types of different manners, whether it's on the streets of Melbourne covering the protests, whether it's doing a podcast with him, and whether it's even covering an event in London where I'm working with someone else and he's here as well. And it's always been amazing for me working with Avi. And I've told this story a few times now because I've done a few of these book tours.
At your own expense.
At my own expense. I don't know why. I followed him to New Zealand and now I'm here in the UK and he hasn't paid me a cent to go. But that's Avi for you. I didn't mean it like that. Look, when I started out doing independent journalism, it's not something that I planned to do. So I ended up on the streets like many of us, sitting at home doing lockdowns, wondering what the hell is going on. I took that as a sign for me to actually go out there and start doing some of this work. And during that journey, I bumped into Avi. And the reason that Avi, gave me strength in many ways is a lot of the protests in Melbourne, when it got really, draconian, there weren't many people out there. And to know that Avi was around filming and he was brave as well, and that kind of gave me courage as well. And I think a lot of people find courage through the work that Avi does.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it's not possible, it's not easy to do what he does. I've had the privilege of going with Avi to Davos and watching him work. And I'm telling you, there's lots of journalists there from all around the world, but they are unable to approach a lot of these people, like the Pfizer CEO, for instance, and actually ask them tough questions in that environment without being, afraid or ashamed of what he's asking. Avi's got no shame. So that's actually a brilliant trait to have for someone that does that type of, on the ground investigative journalism. And they're things that I continue to learn from Avi. So, one of the I don't want to give him too much of a big head, but I do follow him around to learn from him, and I've got confidence now as well. So I was at this art conference working with Aussie Wire, working with Topher and the team, and this time around at the art conference, I was walking up to ex-prime ministers and stuff from Australia. They're still big for me. And actually asking them questions and stuff. But a lot of those skills I've learned from watching Avi work. So, Avi does have an impact on the independent journalism landscape in Australia, and I think also around the world. I was talking to you there before, Dan, and he was saying a very similar thing. So I think your impact, Avi, is, even though no one gives you credit for it outside of this room and the people that support you, I think you do an amazing thing.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Congratulations. I will keep suffering because of you as well. Yeah. So when Avi went to Israel, I People thought I went to Israel with him. Because I went with him and I dropped him at the airport and I took a photo with him. And since that time, really, a lot of people always message me and like, Rukshan, you got to drop Avi. Don't hang around with Avi. He's bad news. Get rid of Avi. You know, he's this, he's that. He's just bringing you down. But I don't believe in that. I think Avi's a very loyal friend. I think he's very loyal to the people that he works with as well. And these are qualities that, despite what anyone says to me, despite how many thousands of followers I've lost, just the last couple of days, I'm not Israeli or Palestinian. I'm just a Sri Lankan guy. That's in the middle, but because I know you, apparently I'm like 100% with you. But look, despite all of that, man, I'm going to stand by you because I think the work that you do is important, and I have great faith in your integrity and your passion and the way that you actually do your news coverage and do all these things. You know, the other side of the story is not always going to be things that people like. People didn't like your coverage during COVID. You know, certain people, I liked it. A lot of people in this room would have liked it, but other people vehemently disagreed with you. And even in these issues, maybe people don't agree with you that might have agreed with you previously, but you are completely aware of this. And and it's not something that's going to stop you from doing what you want to do. So I think that's very brave. So congratulations. Without further ado, guys, I would love to introduce my friend Avi Yemeni from Rebel News.